Alright, well today is a pretty big day for me. My buddy came over, we're going to do his brakes, but on top of that, I got the fuel sending unit for this Tempest, and I already have the fuel tank. As you can see, this headlight thing isn't in, it's just in so my landlord doesn't bug me about a derelict car in the yard, But I picked up a 429 Thunderjet for my Shelby project, which is, I'm very excited to make progress on this project. It's a dream car of mine, a straight up all-time favorite car. I mean, I built GM cars, obviously. Eventually we'll get some Mopar cars, but the Shelby is just defining classic car that I've always wanted. And this 429, I picked up for a few $100s, including a C6 with 108,000 miles. The reason I'm excited about it is because if you know anything about the Ford blocks, they're the biggest factory blocks, meaning with the stroker kit, they're the biggest displacement you can get out of any factory block. Because the Dodge 400 and the 440 blocks, you can punch out past 500 cubic inches. The Pontiacs only go up to 474 reliably. 461 is about as what you want, 468. The Chevys only go to 496, except for the bigger blocks, obviously, but they're aftermarket, though they don't count. The Ford 2-bolt main blocks will hold 800-900 horses reliably if you could afford to make the kind of horsepower. Right now it's a 429, which, if you know anything about Ford, Cossi makes heads for these things. They're reproduction blocks, just resto mod, I guess you could say. Aluminum Boss 429 heads that fit the 426 or the 429 and the 460 blocks. They're not actual Boss heads, to where, because the oil galleys and some other things are different. And they're fairly cheap, so I can make a replica Boss 429 for say $5 grand total cost. I can go bigger. I could do a 557 stroker kit. A Boss 557 would just be a monster motor, or I could just do a wedge kit, a Super Cobra Jet, whatever. As is right now, I'm not going to do anything to it. I might port the heads, put a bigger cam in it, redline about 6,000 RPM, and just call it a day. 400, 450 horses on a $800 investment ain't bad at all. I already have the drive shaft. I have a NASCAR drive shaft with 31 spline yokes, and I just got to get rid of the rear end out of an Explorer or an old Mercedes Lincoln. I'm thinking Lincoln, because another ulterior motive of this car is eventually when I make the horsepower, I want to be able to do 200 miles an hour in this car on standing mile. I could do that, obviously. I won't be able to do it with the 429. It's just not enough motor. I will, however, be able to do it later down the road with a 545 or a 557 stroker, which means I need 247 gearing to be able to do 207 miles an hour at 6,500 RPM. It's a goal I can never attain with my Firebird, no matter how much power I have. It's a goal I can never attain with this, because Pontiacs don't rev that high. 6,500 RPM for a Pontiac is just impossible. Not if you want it to live. 6,500 for a Ford big block ain't nothing. Well, this is a motor I'm picking up from this gentleman here. It is a Ford Thunderjet 429 out of a Thunderbird. It is in really good shape. It's got 108,000 miles on it. Not too much valve lash, but that's all adjustable anyway. But we're getting it complete, and this is what's going in the Shelby project that you guys have been watching. I'm just gonna freshen it up a little. I'm not gonna do no machining, nothing. Just throw it in and drive around and enjoy it. It also comes with this C6. I'm gonna count the splines later to make sure I got a drive shaft for it. Well, thank you all for watching on Invincible Brotherhood. As always, keep it real like none other.